I don't typically make videos about this kind of thing, but this just kind of rubs me the wrong way. And maybe for the last year and a couple months, I haven't really been a huge fan of Funimation. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And now, obviously they have all those other situations, like, for example, in the English dub of Dragon Maid, they actually edited one of the lines. I'm pretty sure it was Quetzalcoatl. It was just weird. I'll probably put in the scene here so you guys can see for yourselves.
What are you wearing that for?
Oh, those pesky patriarchal societal demands were getting on my nerves, so I changed clothes.
Give it a week, they'll be begging you to change back.
But pretty much ever since those situations and whatnot, like them just inserting shit that's like politically motivated and frankly speaking irrelevant and not something I want to see in anime. Now we have things like this. Funimation removes Interspecies reviewers anime because it falls outside of the company standards. Now, Interspecies reviewers is basically smut. It's pretty much hentai. They knew this when they licensed it. So what do you mean, after careful consideration, we determined that the series falls outside of our standards? What does that mean? You knew what the show was. It wasn't a surprise. You knew what it was. You already had someone that evaluated whether or not it was worth bringing the show in. Why is it now suddenly a surprise that it's smut? You dropped it because it's smut? Or did you drop it because people were complaining on Twitter that it was too much? It wasn't for children. In the first place, why does it matter? This show is clearly not created for a children audience. This is for late teens and adults. And they have other shows that are pretty much the same age range, like murdering, like kind of thing. That's fine. So why is this too much for them? Personally, on top of this, just to me feeling like it's something that someone in the company who didn't like how they were sexualizing women, even though the company already knew what the show was about, they had enough power to sway the company into canceling the show. Or maybe there was a big enough group of people on Twitter complaining about it, being too sexualizing of females. I've seen both groups. Clearly there's people in the company that are very, and then Twitter, we already know there's always a group on Twitter complaining about something. On top of that situation, I have two other problems with it. One, them canceling this show really sucks for Westerners who want to watch the show legally. And even people who pirate are going to be affected by this, because the vast majority of pirate groups, like Horrible Subs, for example, and Erai, they don't translate their own shows. They just grab a rip from the actual official companies like Funny and Crunchyroll and whatnot, and they just edit it to make it look better, have less grammatical errors and whatnot, stuff like that, a better version of the official release. So even if you're a pirate, you're still going to have issues probably trying to find this show. And even worse, obviously, for people who want to watch it legit, you pretty much out of options unless another company picks it up, which is probably going to be a whole legal issue entirely, because Funimation bought the rights to air the show and they still have them. So if they drop the show, do they keep the rights and they basically block out any other companies, or like what? I did hear on Reddit another company was going to look into it, but no promises there, so who knows? And then another major problem I have with this is just the fact that I find this extremely disrespectful towards the author. Don't tell me we have the utmost respect for our creators. No, you don't. You don't have respect for the original creators, and you don't have respect for people working for your company translating. You're basically saying like, oh, well, we, after buying it and knowing what it was about, felt that it was not appropriate, and we don't want to force you into heavily editing it to make it PG-13. So we're just going to drop it. That's disrespectful to the people who were clearly fine working on the project for the last 2 or 3 episodes. And then it's extremely disrespectful to the actual author of the work. And like, you're basically saying like, well, your work's not good enough for us. But either way, you guys let me know what you think about it. Personally, this is just one other reason why I genuinely don't want to support Funimation. And Crunchyroll is also up there as well, but for slightly different reasons. Either way, I'm out. Have a nice day.